Hey guys, welcome to G&A Podcast with your host, Sober Oni, and...
Doo.
Yes, and came on no friends. So, I can now insert that as a tag in this video and get 1 million views, apparently. But, guys, we have a great week in anime to talk about, so I don't think we're going to distract from it. And I think we'll just start off with... Hero Academia?
Yes. Take it away.
Yes. Boku no Hero Academia this week was pretty much the lightning round of the tournament where we got to see the correction from last week. It wasn't that Midoriya got kicked out in the semifinals. He actually got kicked out in the quarterfinals because this week we finished the rest of the quarterfinals, which consisted of a very amusing match between Ida and what was the chick with the vine hair?
Yeah, the
where he just literally pushes her off the arena. But first picks up right where it left off with Todoroki winning and his father being hyped as shit and trying to meet him in the walkway when he's leaving the match, and he's just like, "You finally did it! You've unleashed your energy. Come join the dark side." And Todoroki's just like, "I'll think about it," and then just walks away. So yeah, we get the rest of the quarterfinal matches. We get the Ida versus Vine chick. We get the Bakugo versus Rock Hard Man. Kirishima, yeah. Which actually was... I think it was a bullshit fight, but we'll get into that later. Bakugo essentially wins that, and then we get to the semifinals. But we also get...
You forgot...
oh, right. Mina and... what's his name? The Crow.
I keep calling him Birdface.
It's Mina and... I want to call him Karasu. It's not Karasu, is it?
It's not Karasu. It's like Konomiya or something like that. I don't know.
Anyway, Mina and the bird guy, which he wins, like, easily. But, yeah, we get some insight into Ida's brother, who is also a superhero, and is just out on a mission to catch, what was it, the superhero killer. And that turns out about as well as you think it's going to turn out. But we get the match between Ida and Todoroki in the semifinals. And Ida actually puts up a good fight. He's able to kind of land a hit on Todoroki and almost push him out of the ring. But he kind of forgets that Todoroki can freeze people. And he does that and wins the match. And Bakugo wins his match against the bird guy, which is also a bullshit match, by the way, because he literally has the one thing that counters him, that being that his explosions produce light, which makes the bird guy's shadow weaker. And then finally, Ida finds out that his brother was possibly killed, and if not killed, like, heavily decimated by... the new villain.
Very poorly injured.
Yeah, he got really injured by the new villain, Stain, who ends up meeting up with the villain from the last season, which is the guy who's not made of any mass. It's just like a gaseous portal dude. I forget his name.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so now we got a new villain to look forward to. And Ida's brother is possibly dead.
Yeah, this is...
But stay tuned for the finals next week.
Yeah, it was kind of crazy, but yeah, I'm gonna go into like a few things. First, how let's go back to that Bakugo and Kirishima fight, or the hard guy.
That was such bullshit.
Literally, I can beat you because I can just blow you up again, and you can't do anything about it.
Essentially, it was like he was able to withstand the explosions because his skin is so hard, but then it was...
But he has to, like, strain, like, parts of his body.
Yeah, he has to strain his body to do so. So Bakugo was just like, oh, okay, I'm just going to throw, like, 50 explosions in your face until it, like, literally just...
knocks you out.
Wears you down and knocks you out.
Yeah,
so...
they just they really won by blowing him up.
Yeah. Which, I mean, again, and I think this is a big point, a lot of these heroes have, like, they're stressing the fact that they have weaknesses that balance out their powers, but I haven't seen Bakugo or Todoroki's weakness really surface. They mentioned them.
I mean, Todoroki had a weakness.
He did had a he had a weakness that he doesn't, and Bakugo claims that his weakness is he can't make explosions for. So eventually, he runs out of steam, and without his costume on, his explosions aren't as powerful. But I mean, the dude pulled off like 90 explosions in Kirishima's face, and he was fine. So
yeah, well, and more specifically, he's like going past his limit. Like his muscles, like the muscle fibers, like will even begin to tear. But I guess it doesn't matter when you can blow. Like apparently, that's like for a long, long, long time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's fine. He's fine in terms of. I skipped over Midoriya's whole little arc with All Might. Actually, there was a little bit of Midoriya and All Might connecting, and Recovery Girl saying that she's gonna refuse to heal Midoriya anymore because he's just being reckless at this point. And All Might reaffirming the fact that he is happy with choosing Midoriya to be his successor. And we learned that he was actually quirkless when he got his power, just like Midoriya was. But I thought that was assumed already because
it's not like a huge. That's not a huge.
That's not a surprise at all. Yeah, he hasn't used any other power before, so I assumed that was his only power.
Yeah.
And then he thought about giving the power to Todoroki because, of course, if anyone needs more power in the series, it's Todoroki or Bakugo.
Ugh.
They could use super strength.
Disgusting. Who do you think is going to win? Wait, before we even start speculating who's going to win the fight next episode between Bakugo and Todoroki, I just want to say how, once again, it's kind of bullshit how, like I know these guys are supposed to be, like, physically built and work out and be strong because, that's the whole hero thing. But, like, there's no way, like, Todoroki should have, like, lived that kick to the face. Like, it was a kick to the face. Like,
oh yeah, no, the kick that Ida did.
Like, it's a kick going at like
100 miles per hour. When he was like using his rocket leg to propel a kick, like a roundhouse kick to the back of his head.
Like that should leave you with brain damage. Not like just like, not just like, oh, that kind of hurt.
Yeah, no, that's a concussion.
I'm a little jarred. Like
that's a concussion at
death.
the minimum.
That's at maximum.
If not just like cleanly decapitating you because of the force of the acceleration.
Yeah, so that kind of got me pissed because like maybe if he like blocked with the ice. And then he broke through all that ice and then hit him. That makes sense because there's like all that ice to like cushion the blow. But he just took a straight blow to like his noggin and then still won. Like he should be in the hospital.
How
right now.
dare this anime not be fucking scientifically accurate and shit?
It's just a kick to the head. Like come on, like a very fast kick to the head. Anyways, moving on. Let's throw out speculations. Who's gonna win between Bakugo and Todoroki? I'm leaning more towards Bakugo only because Todoroki hasn't confirmed whether or not he's using his firepower. And without it, it's just like, I'm just using ice. And Bakugo can just blow it up for days. So, but if he uses his fire powers, I think that'd be a more even fight, so to speak. Well, not even. I think... I don't know. It depends on how he manipulates the fire because fire is just like. Excuse me. There's a difference between like throwing a fireball, which I can assume he can cancel out by causing explosions, cancel it out, and like throwing like a stream of fire. If he can do that kind of shit, then Bakugo is like kind of fucked at that point.
I think that Todoroki should win, and if he uses his firepower, there's no reason why he should lose. But yeah, I think he's not going to use his firepower. I think he's going to stick to ice, and then I think Bakugo is going to win.
Yeah.
And he's going to be the biggest pissy person when he wins, because he's just going to be like, fuck, Todoroki didn't use his full strength, and I didn't get to fight Midoriya, so he's just going to be a big baby when he wins. And,
I know, even though he came out on top, he's so mad, because he's always mad. And...
Yeah, essentially, he's going to somehow be madder that he won.
Oh, victory, fuck.
But yeah, so I think there's a strong chance Bakugo's going to win.
Cool. Alright, anything else to say before we move on?
I mean, obviously it wasn't as good as last week's episode.
Obviously not. Like, they can't, all that hype was already in the last episode.
Yeah,
so,
no,
yeah.
I think that it was a good episode. I just wish there was more hype leading into a final episode of the finals next week, because I just feel like, I don't know, I just don't feel hyped for this Bakugo Todoroki fight as much as I should be. Like, as much as I was hyped for the...
Because Midoriya is not in it, so...
Yeah, they could have still hyped it a bit.
Yeah.
I am hyped to see what Stain does.
Yeah, I'm definitely, like, that's definitely, like, in the background.
Alright, that's all I have to say about it.
Cool. Let's move on to the episode
of the fucking decade.
For both of us. Kai, you thought last week's episode of Hero Academia was good. I'm sorry, not to shit on Boku no Hero Academia, but this episode literally just took the cake.
We had to rewind it and like watch certain scenes again because we were just like,
wait, what? Let's just get yeah. Okay, so we're starting back from where they left off, and Ymir is on Reiner's back. They're both in their Titan forms. Berthold has Eren strapped to him, and they're running away from the forest. They're running away from the other Titans. They're running away from the military police and the scouts who are chasing after them. They're running. So Ymir finally spits Krista out, and they proceed to have arguably one of the funniest conversations like I've ever seen.
It's because of the dramatic. Circumstance. It was like so dramatic, like all these dramatic effects for no reason, for a stupid conversation.
Like I'm like they're having this silly conversation while they're running for their lives from like Titans and like the scouts and the military police. They're like, oh, you know what? She's like, Krista's like, not Krista, Ymir's like, you know, you can just live with that, like live with us and, you know, be free. At least you won't be, you know, no one here will care that you were that you were meant to be born. And then Krista's like, they won't have time to care because they're going to be eating me. like one of those sarcastic, silly conversations that people would have in normal life. Like they're having this like while all this shit's happening, and it's like hysterical. And then Ymir has the nerve to say, "She's like, well, you know what? Everything can't be perfect."
It does like this dramatic zoom in on her. She's like, "What? It's not like everybody has faults."
It is. It's gonna be perfect. Like, look it out. That was
a great setup.
That was such a great conversation. Like, as I wrote my notes, like, it was a total lover spat between the two. And when one of them died, I'm going to be so heartbroken.
It's definitely going to be Ymir.
Yeah.
It's definitely going to be Ymir, but yeah.
It's going to make me very sad. Let's see. So she kind of lies to her. She's like, oh, I need you to stay with me because I stole the power of the Titans, and, you know, if you stay with me, Reiner and Berthold won't kill me. And then Krista's like, has lesbian love eyes, so she's like, sure, I'm your ally. Yeah, that was me trying to, like, voice out, like, the
they
air
can't
quotes.
see the air quotes.
Yeah, right? Ally. But eventually everyone catches up to them. People who are following them out the forest, they finally caught up. And Mikasa kind of goes crazy.
Oh, Mikasa was so great this episode.
By great, you mean fucking crazy. I kind of want to watch this episode again.
Oh my god, can't we? Sorry guys, it's the end of the podcast.
Yeah, right?
We watch.
She literally just goes nuts, and like, you want to talk about dramatic close-ups? Like, her eyes, like, there's a point where she like catches up to them, and she uses her, I forget what the machine's called, but she basically like goes around to like the front of Reiner, and she like finds Bert and Eden, and like at the nick of time, like Reiner like closes like his neck, just
like he basically encloses them in his neck with his hand, so that Mikasa doesn't.
And you just see Mikasa's eyes through the hole. There's like little gaps in between his hands.
It was like the Shining level.
And she's just like, bro, boy, you better let him go. Like, she was not
let go of Eren.
And then the whole gang, quote unquote, the whole gang catches up to them. All the all the recruits. And they like try talking to Bert, like, "Hey, come on, you fought with us, buddy. Like, this can't be this way, right?" And Mikasa's just like, "Give him back."
It was like good cop, bad cop, except it was like homicidal cop, good cop.
Oh God. So meanwhile, this is happening, and Eren, from the other direction, literally leads a whole group of Titans towards to where Reiner is running, just so they all intersect, and literally one of the greatest scenes in the entire series happens, where he's like, where he makes this big speech, and he's like, "Charge, charge," and he like waves his arm out. You know how people like
they extend their arm,
like in the like like the captain of like the army would raise their arms and be like, "Attack," and like with that. So he does the same thing, and as he's about to do it, yo, this boy gets snatched the fuck up by a Titan. Like, I literally didn't see it the first time. I literally looked down to right in my notes. I look and I just see like blood. I see something. I see someone getting dragged away. I'm like, oh, did the fight start already? And so then Soberoni goes back and plays it for me again.
I almost didn't catch it the first time. He was like, "Charge!" And his arm just gets taken off. I'm like, wait, what?
Yo, he got straight up snatched. And then that's not the crazy part. The crazy part, as he's getting snatched away, he's like, "Charge! Charge!"
Yo, this Titan is like carrying him away in his
literally
teeth and
crushing his arm up.
Keep charging! Go!
And then, literally, like, chaos. It literally just chaos. Everything just starts happening. Like, literally, countless scouts are just getting killed. Like,
this episode's so hype.
There's one guy who's just walking around, like, clearly, like, in a daze. He gets... yes, you know exactly what I'm talking about. He gets hit by a horse. A guy on his horse runs into him. That guy goes flying off his horse, and then a Titan catches him and eats him. And, like... It was fucking insane. And I'm like just halfway done with the shit.
Yeah, this is just where it starts to get really good.
So now they're all attacking with Reiner. They all start like attacking with Reiner being distracted because all the Titans coming in his direction start running him down. So he's finally been pinned down. And then everyone starts like attacking, trying to get to Eren. It doesn't work at first, but then Reiner finally puts his arms down, start punching away, and then they start going, like, they start attacking, trying to rescue Eren. Excuse me. And then Armin pops up, and he's just there. It's just Armin being Armin, and then he's like, I don't know what to do. And Armin's like, "Okay, I'm not the greatest at fighting, but you know I'm the best at psychological torture." And he's literally like, guys, don't you guys want to get Annie back? Yeah, like they're just doing all things to her. Like they're literally trying to make sure that she just does not die. Like, God, like, you know, eventually you start getting used to the screams.
I found a way to take out Annie's guts and then rearrange them and put them back inside her without her dying.
Yeah, it's amazing. Oh, God, it's so bad. And, of course, Berthold being human, ? He's just like, he lets out this guard. Just in time for someone to cut Eren free. But guess who it is? Oh my God, I'm trying to choke my N-words on this because I'm getting hyped just thinking about it. My man, Erwin, with his one hand, cuts Eren free and just falls on his horse. And I'm like, wait, what?
Boss as fuck.
Oh my God, that was like incredible. And then Eren gets dragged away, gets picked up. Everyone starts running. Krista is also picked up by Connie. Everyone starts running. And then Reiner's like, "Fuck this shit. I ain't going empty-handed today." And he like starts throwing Titans at them. It is raining Titans, literally. It is so hysterical. And unfortunately, one of the Titans end up knocking Mikasa and Eren off their horse. And then by the time they're like slowly recovering, they are reunited with the Titan that ate his mom in the very first episode, and that is where that's the end.
Yep, episode ends right when before Eren is about inevitably to get triggered and go into like insane Titan mode.
Oh, please do.
But yeah, no, this episode was like the hypest, most insane, fucking great. Not only of all of Attack on Titan, but like I've seen in a while. Like this episode was crazy hype.
Wait, does your friend like did your roommate Rich watch this?
No, he hates Attack on Titan.
We need to force him to watch this. So he'll change his mind.
But yeah, no, this is like 20,000 levels of just awesome fucking episode. Best episode in the series.
Like I don't know if it's a heat, but I'm literally just like exhausted just talking about it.
Yeah, we're about to get heat stroke from like being so excited about this episode. Do we have anything constructive to say about the episode other than like, oh my god, it's too awesome?
No, I actually don't. I don't. Like everything I said, like I just said, like it was just crazy.
It was like a perfect episode. It was like the perfect episode for. I can't imagine there being a.
There was not one bad moment where I was just like, oh, this is a little slow. Like no, it was just like bam, 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 bam.
Because even in the beginning where it would have been slow, we had that humor with Annie and Ymir and a lot of
really
that, cool
and that
moments.
scene was great.
So yeah, like I can't.
There was not a slow moment, and that's the only reason why it beats the last episode of Boku no Hero Academia, because there were slow moments in that episode. There were episodes where they pause, slow down,
flashbacks and stuff like that.
Typical shonen like style. This, however, was just like go, 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 go.
Also, I feel like there was more build up to like there was a lot of build up to what happened in Boku no Hero Academia, which was great, and like obviously episodes are 10 out of 10. This one's like 11 out of 10. Yeah. But this one was like I feel like this whole season has built to this one moment, and it's just like executed so
and that's the best part. That's the best part. The moment's not done. They're still
it's still going. It's like not even done. It's gonna be a lot more to it apparently.
Because Reiner's still there.
Yeah,
Eren's still there. Like
I imagine that Eren's gonna go Titan mode. I imagine Bird's probably gonna go Titan mode.
Oh my god, that'd be crazy.
You still got Ymir there, and Annie and Krista. Mikasa's still Mikasa.
Yeah, he's still like crazy.
Erwin is apparently still there with his one arm.
Yeah, Mikasa literally just threatening everyone. Oh, I love that speech where she literally was just like, "Oh, don't fight Ymir," and she's like, "I don't have any space in my heart like, for anyone else now.
She's like, bitch, you
I don't have the
time
or the heart to care about this. So either you're with me or you're against me, bitch."
Yeah. That was
like,
great.
Yeah, she's a fucking G. I love her. She is. I don't know, she may be like borderline, tier, yandere.
Yeah.
Great.
Oh, that was such a great episode.
I would love to see them fight.
Well, if Mikasa has her maneuver gear.
Yeah, she'd probably do yeah.
Alright. Can we move on?
Yeah, sure.
Well, I mean, we could just keep going about how great this episode was for the next 40 minutes. But let's not, and let's talk about Danmachi, which, now that I think about it, this was a really good week.
This was a good week.
This was a really good week.
Solid week.
Because Danmachi,
everything was good.
Surprisingly also great.
Yes.
When it focused not on action, but trying to be slice of life comedy, Yuri-ish. But so we left off with the whole Floor 59 fiasco, and they're going to do an expedition with Ice and the Loki Familia to go to Floor 59 to settle the score there and learn more about Ardia. But until then, Ice wants to... This was essentially a training episode in the guise of a comedy episode, because everyone's going to train for that expedition. Ice wants to actually see Belle, because every time she saves his life, he just ups and leaves her. So she goes to the guild to see if she can find him, ends up finding him, and finally getting the chance to talk with him. And she offers to train him, because sort of like she wants to get a deal out of it where she's fascinated by how much he's improved since they first met. So she wants to, even though it doesn't make much sense.
That makes
I see Jude shaking his head. So even though it makes no sense,
like
she wants to trade him so she can figure out the secret to his incredible growth. So of course he agrees to that, and then Lafia wants to be trained by Ice as well. She ends up literally stalking Ice.
Yep, it's stalking.
Stalking Ice when she leaves in the middle of the night to go train with Belle, see what's going on. She ends up, running into Belle and figures out that Ice and Belle are training together, and she sees a scene of them just like, Belle being carried over Ice's shoulder and gets like fucking soul broken, mind crushed, like suicidal.
Mind crush.
She's just like at dinner about to kill herself, and everybody's looking at her like, are you cool? Are you chill? So Ice goes up to her, is like, what's wrong? And Lafia's just like, who the fuck were you with last night?
Why were you in bed?
Why, yeah. So she kind of actually blackmails Ice. She's just like, listen, I'll keep it a secret if you train me. So Ice agrees and starts training Lafia. Only that doesn't go so well. It just ends up being Ice knocking the shit out of Lafia every 5 seconds. So that doesn't go well until eventually Lafia ends up even spying in on Belle's lesson and having this wild fantasy of Ice like consoling her, and she's laying down on Ice's lap and giggling and laughing, and then she walks in on Belle's lesson just to see that Belle is laying down on Ice's lap. Like, so she just gets triggered and leaves and runs into I forgot the guy's name. Is it Hermes?
Pelvis and Dion.
Who?
Pelvis and Dion.
Dion, yeah. Dion and Pelvis. And they want to repay the debt that they owe. So Pelvis agrees to train Lafia. And they actually have, I don't know why the show, I guess the show's pushing a kind of Yuri-ish, semi-Yuri relationship.
Better than nothing.
Better than nothing between Pelvis and Lafia. They end up trading together, and Lafia actually gets some practice in and gets a little bit better. And learns a new spell. And gets a new friend with Pelvis. A new friend with Pelvis.
More unseen air quotes.
Yeah, more unseen air quotes. And meanwhile, everyone else is training. It's implied that Tiona and Tione are training. Loki and the head of the Familia, the little kid, are like out and about. And kind of just Belle and... Oh, right. So it ends with Belle and Ice doing their final training. Hestia finally shows up after, like, just being cameo appearances for the whole fucking season. And clings to Belle, and they go home together. And then they get ambushed by a bunch of, like, what was it, like, cloaked ninjas or some shit.
There were ninjas. They like had standard armor.
Really?
Like,
well,
yeah.
I'm getting confused. I just watched ReZero, guys. So like when I think of ambushes, I'm thinking about cultists jumping people. Anyway, so they get jumped by a bunch of warriors, and it's Ice, Belle, and Hestia getting ready to fight, and that's where the episode ends.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it's probably my favorite episode easily so far.
I think so too. It's just that when the show focuses on comedy and like building the characters and having the characters actually be like fun and interactable, I think it does a lot better than when it tries to be like this serious, action-y fantasy show.
Yeah, like if they focused more on like Lafia trying to get with Ice, I'd be like 1,000%
Yeah,
for it.
like Lafia was actually good this episode. Like she was cute and funny and like opened up a lot of different types of interactions between the characters. She was a good addition to the cast.
I feel like it would be really funny if it ended up with like her and like she just has like her own like Yuri harem.
That'd be cool. I'd watch that.
I would watch that too.
Watch the shit out of that. I still await the twins getting their spinoff, my Tione and Tiona spinoff. Because the like 2 seconds of screen time they had was great.
Yeah, they're always good. I always love seeing them. Like, remember in the dining hall where they like, where Leffy and Ice went to talk, and then it flashes back to the twins, and like one of the twins, like, she's like so dumbfounded, like her drink is like spilling out of her mouth.
Just like, what the fuck is going on?
That was hysterical.
Yeah, no. It needs to be lighthearted. Like, it could be serious and have the action and stuff, but I think it needs to still focus on being a little bit lighthearted and having different characters interact. Like, I like seeing Philvis and Lafia because they're such different characters, yet they have enough common ground to be interesting together. Or like Belle and Ice. It makes Lafia and when they're being comedic, Lafia and Ice actually pull off a good combo too. Like, they complement each other.
Yeah, too bad, you know.
Yeah, no, too bad it's gonna be serious.
Exactly, because it's like 3 episodes left.
Yeah.
So fuck my life.
So we got our one funny episode. So
our one good episode.
Our one good funny episode in.
Oh
well. Yeah, best episode so far, at least.
C'est la vie. Moving on to Eromanga Sensei. It's part 2 of the beach episode. They didn't stop. They didn't.
Yeah, that's surprising. Normally it's just one beach episode, but no.
So that's a bit. So we're already off on a good note, in my opinion. Starts off with Masamune waking up to Elf trying to sneak a kiss, being all cute, but it's thwarted by Muramasa.
This is a Muramasa episode.
This is a Muramasa episode. And Silver was complaining about that, even though it turned out to be a really good episode.
Yeah. I do have something to say about it. I'll say it later.
Yeah.
On why I think it was a good episode, despite it being a Muramasa episode.
Anyways, before he sucks all the fun out of this room. So yeah, so like that scene ends. They start, they were just working on their stuff for a bit, and then it becomes this whole big like teasing fest about Muramasa and like her first love, and like apparently like everyone knows about it. Like apparently like it's this running joke at this point.
Internet forums are talking about it.
So it's like this big running joke at some point. She's like, "Oh my god, everyone knows," and like, "Yeah, we kind of know." And she's like, "Fine," and then she literally just gets like crazy. She like just freaks out. She's like, "Fine, I love Masamune." Sorry, yeah, I'm gonna get confused. Their names are so confusing. I love Masamune. It's fine. It's whatever. It's okay with her. And then there's one funny part where she's like, where Elf points out that she hears Muramasa talk about her talk to Masamune by herself.
Yeah, she probably talks to him. Damn, how do you phrase that? She talks to him when he's not there, like talking to herself, pretending he's there.
Yeah, exactly. And she's like, "That's not weird, right?" And he's like, "Yeah, that's kind of weird. Could you just never do that again?" And she's like, exposed." So yeah, Chris finally leaves. Chris being Elf's brother. To leave for now, do some work. So instead of being diligent, of course, they decide to play a King's game. Even though apparently she was supposed to set it was supposed to be set up so that Masamune kisses Muramasa. She actually ordered the 2 guys to end up kissing, and then Shindo, because he's in denial about his homosexuality, just runs away in embarrassment because he can't handle it. I'm just saying, if he was so adverse to it, he would have just been like, "Oh, like everyone." But no, he like that. He booked it out of there. He just ran.
Everyone is part of the Masamune harem in this show.
Yup. But yeah, so after he runs, Eromanga starts playing as well, and of course she starts being really perverted about it. She like tells Elf to take off her clothes, and then she orders Muramasa to tell her what kind of pants. I was gonna say pantsu, and I was going to say no, panties is the right word. Yeah. What kind of panties is she wearing? And Muramasa is like reluctant to answer, and then they're like, Are you not wearing any? And then she starts freaking out because she's not.
Because she's wearing a kimono.
That was her excuse. I'm like, what? Like, no. Like, no. She was planning to get some dick this episode. She was trying to straight up get laid. Like, there's no reason for you to not be wearing underwear unless you thought someone was gonna take that kimono, hike it up halfway, and go in for some easy access. That's in my humble opinion. Yeah. But after that whole debacle, she also says that she doesn't plan on writing novels anymore. Everyone's like, kind of asking her about it. Like, are you sure that's what you want to do? Like, I don't think it's gonna. Some people think that's not gonna happen. Some people are like, okay, whatever.
Some people like me are like, good, don't write again.
All right.
Get off the show.
Anyways, yeah, but she says she doesn't plan on writing because her dream is fulfilled, and her dream was to. I forgot what she said.
She wanted to read like the most interesting novel ever.
Oh yeah, that's what it was. And so she read it, and she's all happy about it. But like Masamune points out like the most obvious thing in like human history. He's like, you can have more than one dream, right? And
that was like, the stupidest part of this episode.
Really? Yeah, that was like the only bad part about this episode because it was like such a dumb like aha. Like it's not even a aha moment. It's a adoy moment.
I could have more than one dream?
Yeah, so it ends up with the episode, Masamune encourages her to pursue her another dream that she might have. That doesn't have to just end with, what her first dream was. That she can keep writing and make as many dreams as she wants and everything's wonderful and sparkles and rainbows. The end.
Yes. So, this episode was good. In spite of Muramasa. And it's not that I hate Muramasa, I just don't like her. She's a normal, blandish character to me. I think her first appearance was her best appearance. I don't like how. I mean, we're gonna go into this later when we do our reserve review. I
know exactly what you're about to say. I'm like, you have some fucking nerve. You have some fucking nerve. But no, can you say it?
This is the pussification of a character. She was so good when she first came out with how, like, clutch she was when she demolished Elf, when she was, like, spitting fire at fucking Muramasa and, like, I'm gonna destroy your career and all that shit. And now she's just kind of, like, your typical moe, like, oh, I just want to be with Muramasa, and she's totally picked on and bullied all the time. She's, like, the bully target. It shifted from Elf to Muramasa. So, I don't know. I just feel like she's a joke character now. And this episode was good, mainly because Elf was really good in this episode, and that's what I'm just going to stick it at. Like, for a Muramasa episode, this had just as much Elf as it did Muramasa. It's just that Muramasa got the little dialogue at the end with Masamune.
I would say there was a lot of Elf in, like, the beginning part.
In the first half, there's as much Elf as there is Muramasa.
Yeah, but in, like, the second half, it clearly shifted to being all
yeah, and the second half was the most boring half of it. It was the whole, like, oh, you can have more dreams and dream a dream that you live and blah, 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 however the song goes.
Okay, well, he just does not like Muramasa.
It's not that I don't like her. I just feel like she was better if she had stayed the way she was when she first appeared, instead of just being like this complete, 180 and having her be like a kind of a joke character that everybody bullies, and she's just kind of this like, I'm helplessly in love with Masamune, and I don't know.
Yeah. I wouldn't know anything about that.
No, but, it works for Rem, but we'll get into that later. It doesn't work for Masamune.
Alright. I literally don't care enough to argue back. I like Muramasa.
Wow.
I like Muramasa in this episode. I thought she was great.
I thought she was cute.
I thought she was cute. And of course she's, like, if this episode is all about her, of course she's gonna, like, they're gonna, like, pick on her. Like, that's her whole thing. Just like
I mean, they always pick on her. They pick her on her last episode when she was in the beach and Elf gave her, like, a skimpy bikini to wear.
Okay. Okay, fine. So they pick on her. Whatever. Like,
I just want her to have more claw. Like, she came out fucking taking lives and shooting everyone down, and now she's just like, It's funny because if she had started like this, like if she had started and was introduced as this type of character who's just like in love with Masamune and all this shit, then I'd probably like her 100 times more. But because she had like such a strong initial appearance, and now it's just kind of like dissolved into this, I'm just not as invested in her.
Like, can you hear me like grinding my teeth as he says that?
I don't know why.
No, let's just end it because it's going. You know where this conversation is gonna go. Let's just move on for my sanity.
All right, it was a good episode though. Anyway, Renai Boken. This episode, again, I think they're doing a pattern now where it's like it's split into two parts essentially. First part being almost entirely just like entertaining, comedic, and the second part kind of being more serious. So the first half of the episode was Slumber Party, the episode. Aqua leaves the house to go to her friend's house to stay the night, and her parents, or Seiji's parents, are gone. So they have the house. He has the house to himself. So of course, immediately Akane shows up and is like, "I heard that you have the house to yourself." And he's like, how do you know that? It's, just a hunch. It's just a hunch. So I'm just going to spend the night here with you and cook you dinner. And then Guri shows up and totally ruins their fun. And then Yuzu shows up and is like, I'm not going to let you, because it was a case of double stalking, I guess, because now she knows that Akane is spending the night and shows up and is like, I'm not going to let you guys spend the night by yourselves. And then Shikimi shows up and they try to lock her out, but she kind of just breaks in because she knows how to pick the lock. So it's a sleepover with all of them, and we get a lot of cute moments of Akane trying to, essentially she wants to get the kiss that was promised to her last episode. There are a few moments where she's one of the moments was say she goes to take a bath, and then everyone just tries to sneak in on him. Like, Guri sneaks in to, like, film him while he's taking a bath. And then Shikimi just drops in to, like, look at him while he's taking a bath. And then he feels violated. But Akane kind of confronts him after he finishes in the bath. And they actually share a kiss, which was actually kind of nice.
Yeah, that moment was very touching.
It was a touching moment that was like, even I wasn't expecting it, because you don't typically see that type of stuff in anime. But, so they're happy, and Shikimi, of course, uses this as a moment to kind of prod at Guri's insecurity. Like, oh, are you okay with that? Them just kissing like that in front of you? But Akane makes dinner for them, and of course she makes, like, amazing dinner for Yuzu and Seiji, and then makes, like, I think, a piece of lettuce for Guri and Shikimi. So they end up fighting about that. They end up fighting about a lot of shit. It's just an overall fun half of the episode, and ends with them going to sleep and Shikimi being tied up. But then when they wake up in the morning, there's essentially like everything is destroyed. There's blood everywhere. And then Seiji's like, what happened? And then Shikimi's like, Shikimi gets up naked because she likes to sleep naked. And it's just like, oh yeah, I broke out of the chains and me and Akane got in a fight. And then Aqua just shows up like, why is there a naked girl and then a bunch of other girls and then blood and destruction everywhere? So that's where that ends. The second episode is all about Aqua. I like Aqua, but anyway, it's all about Aqua. Guri kind of figures out that she has feelings for her brother and is just kind of being like insincere about it. So she wants to transform Aqua into this like kind of how she used to be. Make her wear these girly clothes and get in touch with her inner girl so she can appeal to being part of Seiji's harem. That doesn't work out so well. So they end up running into the stupid penguin demon again. Was it Stolas? Yes. Stolas. They run into Stolas again, who immediately like destroys Guri and starts chasing Aqua. And Aqua's trauma comes back, but she's determined that this time she's going to actually take action and save herself instead of relying on her brother to come. The angel ends up showing up in the form of the cat, and then ends up fighting Stolas, gets beaten, then Who was his name? Corrali. How many times do they mention his name? Because they don't. I've never heard of it. I know that they refer to him as like Blue because that's the cat's name. But yeah, so he comes in, fights with Stolas. Stolas is like jacked because he's been training and surviving natural selection, as he puts it, and beats the angel. He shows up again in his true angel form, which is like creepy as fuck because it's just a floating head.
He literally looks like some kind of like enemy from a Final Fantasy game.
Yeah, he's just a floating head with like a bunch of wings all over. So he ends up fighting Stolas, but ultimately Aqua is the one who kind of finishes off Stolas and sticks up for herself. Seiji shows up a bit too late, congratulates Aqua on everything, and is kind of just surprised. Then Guri shows up and wants to kind of say something, but she's afraid to interrupt the moment. And Shikimi kind of just shows up at the same time to take advantage of it, and is like, "Oh well, why don't I tell you why your feelings for Seiji aren't as strong as everyone else's?" So they run off together, and now Shikimi and Guri are, I guess, going to be part of the next episode. Mm-hmm. So that's where we leave off at. I mean, it was a good episode.
Can I say, like, my favorite episode, my favorite part of the episode was actually, like, Corelli. Like, he was really cool this episode.
Really?
Like, despite his very weird presence, like, he was just like, hey, I'm like, he wasn't saying anything like comical. He was just being very generally like uplifting and supportive. Like
his speech in itself is comical. Like his way of talking is comical.
His way of talking is comical, but what he says is like very like outstanding. Like he's cheering Aqua on as she's fighting.
Yeah.
Like, he was actually like really cool. Like I don't know. Like my opinion of him grew a lot this episode.
My opinion of him is, I guess, unchanged. I don't know.
Because he's not an anime girl, so whatever.
Oh, yeah.
That's pretty much it.
Okay.
I mean, to be fair.
I mean, I like Seiji.
Yeah, okay, that only worked. Okay, I don't like anime girls and the main protagonist.
Alright, what's his name? Shindo from Earl Manga?
Yeah, what about him? He's gay.
Exactly. We're projecting onto the anime guys now.
I know what you're talking about.
But I don't know. He's just like, I don't know. He's just a character.
I know.
Like,
I
don't dislike him.
But like, and usually I don't know. I feel like
he was cooler than usual this episode. But
exactly.
It's not like he was like shooting up my list of favorite characters or anything.
No, he's not. Well, first of all, it's not that I like him more than Aqua. That's not what I'm trying to say. It's just like every time it's an Aqua story, I'm just like, oh, here we go. Because it's just never as funny as anyone else's.
It's not as funny as anyone else's.
Never.
My problem is that it's like it reuses the same premise.
Whenever
this is the third time Stolas has showed up to fight Aqua.
Whenever she comes, the episode drops in comedy. Like, it's just not as funny.
I mean, my only hang up with it is the Stolas. Like, they need to... I don't mind Aqua episodes, but they need to be... There needs to be more to it than Aqua being insincere with how she feels about her brother and fighting a fucking penguin.
In the background from now on.
Like, I like Stolas, but I don't want to see him every time it's not an episode.
This anime's in 2 episodes. Let's just not show her again unless she's in the background.
I like Aqua. You're such a hater. She's cute. She's a cute little sister.
She is, but like,
I like her in moments where she's like with when she was with was she with Yuzu or was she with no, she was with Shikimi to fight way back like a few episodes ago when they were trying to rescue Akane and they broke into the mansion. I think she was with Shikimi. I know because it was Yuzu and Guri.
Yeah, Yuzu and Guri,
and then Akane was there, and I forget how Seiji got in.
Seiji was Aqua.
Was he?
Yeah, Aqua.
Oh, and then Shikimi scared her off or something. I forget. Shikimi did something to... I know Aqua was, like, taken out of the fight for some reason. Blue showed up, that's why.
Yeah.
Anyway, tangent aside, I don't know. It was a good episode. I think it was not as good as it was. It was an okay episode. I'm not gonna call it a good episode. The first half was good. The second half was weak. So I think it's getting neutral.
I'm gonna say it's good only because like I liked that Corrali was like not just like this weird like thing that like his whole.
I mean, he's still a weird thing.
Like he was, but like that wasn't his only purpose. Like usually when his purpose like showing up saying like, "Hi, I'm a cat with a man's face on it. I'm really fucking creepy. I'm gonna say some lines and freak someone out." Like that's like his point, but like he actually did something this episode. So
and I appreciate the romantic moment we got between Agane and Seiji, so we can actually see that their relationship is grown. Yeah. All right. Next up.
Oh, General Guardian.
Oh boy, here we go.
It's actually gonna be a short explanation because I feel like nothing happened.
No, nothing happened this episode.
No, it did, but it just feel like it went by like so fast.
How many plot lines are they gonna introduce in this show?
I think that this plot line is gonna be like resolved by next episode.
And then 5 more plot lines will show up.
Anyway, so episode starts out with like a crazy Star Wars Princess Leia reference. Riku Rey, who is held hostage by what's his
Temujin.
Temujin, thank you.
Temujin of Precious.
Is he from Precious?
Yeah.
Are you sure? I thought he was against Precious.
Oh wait, no, you're right.
Yeah.
And then there's Dark Tiger of Precious.
Yeah.
God, I hate how I have to actually know these. This show is making me waste my like intellect on this fucking remembering this stupidity.
So she literally comes out dressed like Princess Leia when Princess Leia was held captive. Like literally, like look at it.
Yeah,
and when she first comes in, you'll miss it potentially if you don't see it in the light. Because that's what happened to me. Because Jeffrey's like, "Oh my god, Star Wars!" I'm like, "What are you talking about?" But because the door closed and it was all dark. So they start with the scene of her like walking into like a room where Temujin and the lackeys are, and they end up giving her the console.
And that's the most that happened this episode. That was like the highlight of the episode.
Yeah. So then they talk about like they reference like this one kid who's all like, "I'm gonna raise money and we're gonna get out of the shitty town, man, playing this game."
This kid and his like super hot,
like
older
super
sister.
hot. Like she literally was like the hotter version of Akane.
Yeah, no, she was fucking gorgeous.
So yeah, they go into that whole thing, and then he tries to get into some tournament, but he doesn't have the money to enter. His name's Takashi. I wrote Takachi in my notes.
Sure, why not?
So that's why I was like confused. I was like, that's not a Japanese name.
He's the only one with a Japanese name in this series so far, actually.
Takashi. There you go. Yeah, so Riku, aka Jen, meets Takashi, who's trying to like sneak into a tournament. And he's just like, "Hey, what are you trying to do?" And she's like, "I'm trying to sneak into the tournament or watch it." And he's like, "I can help you with that." Because Riku is being held up by his angelic... I don't know what she is. Servant? I don't know what she is to him. Excuse me. So, said angelic servant picks up them both so they can watch the game or watch the tournament. And the tournament is literally like an ice guy versus like the guy from Team Rocket. Some kind of Viking dude. In the middle of the match, they both drop in because the guy's like, "Oh, I'm going to interrupt this fight because why the fuck not?" Drops in on them. And somehow, for some reason, the rules are you somehow drop in and take out one of the competitors. You can just find the match like normal.
Yeah, take their place.
You can just take their place, because why not? I was like saying, you can if you assassinate the president, you become president.
See, why not? Sounds logical to me.
Yeah. And then there's like the sad background story where they show why he's like desperate to raise money because like his extremely hot sister is now like in the hospital with some random ailment. And then
I'll cure her disease, if you know what I mean. I was waiting for that. I was waiting for you to reference it just so I can say that stupid joke.
Wow, you literally
waiting on
You
that.
literally waited 5 fucking minutes just to make that joke. And that was the best you could come up with.
It's better than anything this show got. They should hire me as a writer.
Oh God, and I hope they pay you just the same, which is probably peanuts. Anyways, so that's his motivation for fighting. But because they don't know the rules of anything, because they're stupid, they're like, oh, but because you're an intruder who came in here, of course you have to face a penalty because what you did was kind of fucked up, and their powers are halved, and yeah, and that is where the episode ends up. Their powers not doing a lot to the ice Viking dude, so they're in deep shit.
How much you want to bet, next episode is not even going to touch on the tournament? The tournament's not going to be mentioned. It's going to be some other shit that's going on.
I would literally scream.
Because, I first off, this tournament came out of nowhere. I don't know what they're talking about with a tournament. I don't know. It just shows just all over the place. It is just literally all over the place. I have no idea what's going on anymore.
Riku-Rei was just... I love how Riku-Jin was just...
Anymore. Let me correct myself. I had never had any idea what's going on.
Riku-Jin was just chilling there in the sky. He was like, hey, I'm just here.
Yeah.
No reason.
I think at one point we were just like, is this the real world or are they in the game? I can't tell anymore. Nothing makes sense.
Well, just like in my drug-fueled haze back in college, I'm just gonna sit back and enjoy the ride.
Sure.
Let's move on to the last anime. And last but not least...
Alice Ozoroku, because it is still somehow ranked below Gendo Guardian. You sickos like Gendo Guardian more than Alice.
Yikes.
So, the episode also kind of split in half. So we have Sana finally going through with the sleepover. It's Sana and the twins finally come over because they were frozen last episode. So the sleepover commences. Zoroku has to go to work, and Sanai is taking care of them all. We get a ton of really cute, relatable kid sleepover points. Like they're eating pizza. There was one scene where they're talking about the bathing habits. I guess it's kind of weird. They go in. I don't know. They just chill and have a fun day. They have when they go to sleep, they have a pillow fight or a tickle fight.
Yeah.
It was a really, really nice, relaxing. Of course, the show doesn't want to stay that way, but for the first half, it was nice and chill and relaxing and fun and cute. And we got a lot of Sanai, which is great. But while they're going to sleep, Sana talks to the twins about what happened with, was it Hatori? Hatori? Yeah, about the time freezing and all that. And she's pretty much, sold on the fact that she does not like Hatori. She does not fucking like her at all. She's, traumatized by Hatori because she's just nope, that bitch is evil.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get her. She's not gonna see it coming. She's talking mad shit about Hatori to the twins. And then Zoroku shows up again. He comes home late. And Sana just goes down and hugs him because she's just happy that he's back. Because she's traumatized by this whole Hatori can control people and freeze them in time and shit. So eventually we go back. Now we switch perspectives to... we figure out Sana's planning something. Then we switch perspectives to Hatori, who's home with her mom, and she just stops going to school. And then her friend Ayu shows up and is like, hey, why aren't you going to school? And she's like, listen, I'm a bad witch now, because of course we gotta keep the stupid witch metaphor going. So I'm a bad witch now, and I ain't going to school. I'm just gonna stay here forever in my house with my happy family, and no one's going to stop me, essentially. So Ayu leaves, but the detective who originally worked with Sana to get her and Zoroku together shows up and tries to speak with Hatori, but Hatsuri uses her power to just tell them go away, essentially. And as they're going away, he realizes, like, damn, this is the 5th time I've come here and nothing happened because every time I come here, she tells me to go away. So they need to find a way to get her to let them in. And they look at a profile of her best friend, Ayu, which kind of hints at they're going to use Ayu as kind of a means to get to Hatsuri. And then we switch perspectives to Ayu, who's just in the middle of the street kind of trying to figure out more about what's going on with her friend. When all of a sudden, a door opens up beneath her. She gets sucked in to, like, Alice in Wonderland, literally an Alice in Wonderland scenario. And Sana just shows up on top of a turtle wearing a cape and is like, your torture begins now. So, that was where we left off.
Yeah, I like this episode.
I don't know how to feel about this episode. It was alright. It was okay. So I liked the slice of lifey, cutesy, nice part at the beginning. And the serious part at the end I felt it kind of dragged, really.
I feel like it was obviously, like, can't be all slice of life. Like,
it can't be all slice of life.
You can't actually go on with the plot, you know?
I know, but it took too much time to do what it was trying to do. It was like, the whole IU Hatsuri conversation could have been done in, like, half the time. There was some extra stuff that didn't need to be there. It was just, like, dragging. It could have, like, you could have had, like, 15, 16, 17 minutes of that beginning fun part, and then, like, 3 minutes of the whole seriousness, and it would have been probably more effective, because then it'd leave you with, like, oh, shit, something's going down. But instead it left me with, like, oh, good, finally this episode finished. So, I don't know, I just felt like the episode got weaker towards the end instead of getting stronger, because it was so thinly spread.
I personally like... It's gonna sound really weird, but I like Sana's reaction to this whole thing. That is, like, my favorite part, because she's, like, very, like, anyone who's studying child psychology, they would have a field day with Sana right now. Because, like, she's so, like, in her mind, like, she's literally oversimplifying, like, the whole incident that happened. Yeah. She literally is like, something happened that made me incredibly scared. I found the source of it, and I'm going to, like, get rid of that source.
Kill the shit out of that source.
Yeah, like, as opposed to asking why it happened, how it happened, like, she's not aware of anything because, like, she's still, like, a kid, and that's, like, the best way she can, like...
deal with her problems?
Yeah, this is literally simplifying it, is literally the way she can cope with what happened. Like, this happened, these are people who are making it happen, this is how I stop it. So, that, to me, that's very... that's why it's a good episode. I specifically like stuff like that.
I think, like, whoever designed, like, Sana's character is really well designed in terms of, like, she's a really realistic child. Not even in just, like, in terms of how she acts like a child, but how she thinks. Like, June was pointing out her whole mental psychology and how she thinks about how she addresses her problems and how she thinks of people and things. So, I don't know. It's like the most realistic child depiction I've seen.
Yeah, that's why I like this episode so much. Because they really... It's like they really go into it. I forget where I was reading this, where I heard this from. It's more impressive if you show it instead of outright telling it. Like, they didn't have to go through this obligatory scene where they had to explain... like, her mental...
Okay, I said that, but okay. Well, I said that in my Come On with Friends video.
Yes, you did. That's exactly where I got it from. Yeah, shout out to you.
Woo! Shout out to me!
There's, like, in the Come On with videos, endless plugins for the video. But yeah. So, what was I saying? Yeah. It's, like he said in his video, it's they show it, but they don't tell it, per se. Like, they show that, like, she's, like, coping with it in a way that, like, she can only do because she's, like, 8 years old, or however old she is.
Yeah. Yeah, it's an effective way of getting across how she feels and acts. I don't know. I just feel like she's a really realistic character. I kind of really
they really did. It was a very A+ with the character development on her part this episode. That's why I really like this episode.
Yeah, I guess you turned me a bit, but yeah, no. That's all I got to say about that.
Yeah, I
do want to see where they go with this Alice in Wonderland theme, though.
They kill her.
Yeah, I'm imagining that Sanda's gonna have like the card. The heart, Queen of Hearts or something. Yeah.
Off with her head.
Off with her head. Yep. Nope. That's all I gotta say about that.
Yeah,
that's all I'm looking forward to.
That's a lovely note to end things on. If you guys enjoyed this shameless plug-in of Kimono and this podcast in general, by all means, drop a like, comment, and or subscribe. We really appreciate the support. And with that, I think we's about to get the heck on out of here. Any last words?
Nope, guys. Have fun. Do you, I guess. I have no idea how to end these videos.
Have a good Monday. Bye.
Later.